guys, good morning. Amanda Brooks here, coming to you live from Bangor, Maine. I am a physician assistant. I've been practicing emergency medicine for 14 years and opened a wellness center 2.5 years ago where I am hoping to really bridge the gap between modern and alternative medicine. So good morning, good morning. I hope that you guys all had a wonderful weekend. I was actually I was stuck working in a really small rural hospital. And it was a really nice change of pace because it wasn't as insanely busy as the other hospital that I work at. So I was actually able to spend some time with patients, talking with them and really trying to dig a little bit deeper. So today's message, I think it's going to be really powerful. What I found this weekend and what I'm seeing is that so many of you, you're frustrated, right? Like you're going to see your doctor, you're not getting the answers that you want because you aren't able to spend the time with them that you think that you deserve. They're just too busy. And guess what they're doing? You're having a symptom or an issue and they're prescribing a drug. And unfortunately, that's what we do in modern medicine. We treat a symptom with a drug instead of looking at the underlying root cause. So what we were able to do this weekend with some of my patients is kind of dig a little bit deeper, kind of bring patients out of their comfort zone to think about what it is that could be causing their issues. So I actually have a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition, and I didn't go on to become a dietitian because I thought it would be nearly impossible to change people's eating habits. And guess what I'm doing now? I am spending so much time talking about diet because, like Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine. So anyway, what I want to talk about today in regards to diet is dairy, okay? So what is dairy? It's milk, it's yogurt, cottage cheese, ice cream, cheese. Because I'm gonna talk a lot about cheese, I think, today. What isn't it? It's not eggs. I'm not sure why so many of you think that eggs are dairy, but eggs come from chickens. Anyway, so eggs aren't dairy. We're not talking about eggs today. Now, why do I think that people should eliminate dairy from their diet? First of all, you've got to ask yourself. Hey, good morning, Teresa. Yeah, pus. Oh, gross. But let's think about this for a minute. Are you suffering from, bowel issues, acne, skin conditions, autoimmune disorders? Are you full of inflammation? Are you just miserable? And you don't know why? Think about these reasons as to why you shouldn't be consuming dairy. Number one, we're really the only mammal on earth that drinks another mammal's milk. Kind of just weird. How many of you, after consuming an ice cream cone or eating a cheese pizza, do you have that bloating in your stomach? That's because 2/3 of the world actually doesn't have the enzyme lactase, which is used to digest the milk sugar lactose. So 2/3 of us were lactose intolerant, which is another reason why we shouldn't be consuming this product. Another thing, cows. Cows are bigger than they ever have been, and they're producing more milk than they ever have. Why do you think that is? It's because no matter what industry says, we're still giving them growth hormone. Now, giving a cow growth hormone, what it does is it increases or it contains something called IGF-1, insulin growth-like factor. So we create that in our bodies anyways, but if we have an excessive amount of this, it increases prostate cancer in men. It causes women or young girls to go through puberty faster. Again, this is not a good thing. Also, hey, do you guys remember those commercials? Gut milk, strong bones, healthy teeth. Have you noticed that we haven't seen any of those lately? It's because it's just not true. So we know that countries with dairy councils like ours, we actually have the highest rate of hip fractures in the world, whereas countries that don't consume as much dairy, like Africa and Asia, their rates of osteoporosis are much less. So there isn't the strong connection with milk and fracture prevention. Actually, it's just the opposite. Oftentimes the high protein content in milk makes it super acidic, and our bodies are smart trying to neutralize that acidity, leaching calcium from the bones and making us more prone to fracture risk. Dairy It's the number one cause of allergies in kids. So what are our kids eating, you guys? They're eating grilled cheese sandwiches, they're eating macaroni and cheese. This is a difficult conversation. It's difficult for me with Arabella, because Jake, if you're watching, you still give her macaroni and cheese. Anyway, it's difficult being a parent, right? Like when we go out and about in public, right? Like it's difficult to find alternatives for a child, but I think it's really important to be good examples to them, especially knowing that this can be linked to disease. So these are just some of the reasons why I think that we shouldn't be consuming dairy. But like Teresa said earlier, if you actually look what's in the composition of a glass of milk, oh my gosh, yeah, there's actually pus cells in there. That's disgusting. But what we do is we can take milk and we can form something known as cheese. Okay, everyone, I feel like the patients that I meet with, they're okay with, substituting their glass of milk for coconut, almond, cashew, or rice milk. They're okay with that. They're okay with substituting ice cream with, banana, ice cream or coconut or almond milk ice cream. There's a lot of alternatives, but the cheese alternatives, the vegan cheese like made by Daiya and whatnot, it's not as tasty. So people are having a difficult time. So they're willing to give up everything but cheese. But guys, you have got to stop consuming cheese. But why can't you? You can't because it's addictive. So it's full of fat. It's 80% fat. It's full of salt, and it's full of, or actually it causes casomorphins to be formed. So when the protein casein in cheese is broken down, it creates something that acts on your brain in the same way as morphine, same way as heroin. Okay, so it's a casomorphin, which is why how many of you think, oh my gosh, I can't live without cheese. Like you have blocks of cheese in your fridge, like you put cheese in your salad, you put cheese on absolutely everything. And that's what our government is doing as well. They know this. They know that we're addicted to cheese, so what they're doing is they are appealing to the industry. So they're reaching out to Subway, they're reaching out to Pizza Hut, they're reaching out to Wendy's. And guess what they're doing? They're increasing production of food products that contain more cheese. Like, I think I was reading something from Wendy's, the Baconator has X amounts of cheese. And so they increased sale of the Baconator to increase consumption of cheese and therefore production of cheese. Same thing with pizza. Pizza Hut has some kind of pizza product with cheese in the crust and on the pizza that has like a pound of cheese per serving. This is absolutely insane. If we just stop consuming dairy and cheese specifically, we are going to feel a whole lot better. So I had a patient several weeks ago in the ER. He was huffing and puffing, really bad COPD, former smoker but quit, trying to do what's right for himself and improve his health. And I said, hey, are you consuming dairy? And he's like, oh my gosh, I drink so many cups of milk a day, blah, 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 blah. And so I said, hey, just think about, stopping this. You guys, the other day, this gentleman, I wouldn't have recognized him, but he was chasing me down in the grocery store to tell me how much better he felt. So same thing with acne. Does your child or do you suffer from acne? Acne is linked to excessive hormones. So if you have an imbalance in your hormones, which is going to happen when you're consuming dairy, because in order for a cow to produce milk, they're either pregnant or have recently been pregnant, and so just natural hormones are going into the milk, which then cause hormonal imbalance in the body, which can result in menstrual irregularities, it can result in acne, it can result in things like endometriosis. I know a woman that was suffering from extreme endometriosis, went to a plant-based diet, eradicated all dairy, and guess what? She reversed her disease. You guys, I'm absolutely not making this stuff up. How about patients with migraines that I see? If we look into exactly what they're eating, if they change their eating habits, guess what happens? Their headaches go away. We know that strong aged cheeses are linked to headaches. So if we can just stop eating cheese, why not? So I guess we know that there's a link to all autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune diseases, the underlying foundation of autoimmune is inflammation. Cheese equals inflammation, so does dairy. So I guess the big thing that you have to ask yourself is, are you willing to do what's hard now so that you can live a healthy life? Is it really worth what you're putting into your body to, to light up that amygdala in your brain with the casomorphins from the cheese? Is it worth it to have poor health? I remember, when you're younger, you're obsessed with being thin. And there was this quote that all my friends would say, hey, nothing tastes as good as thin feels. But I'd like to change that. Like, nothing tastes as good as health feels, right? Like, if you're living longer but your health stinks, is it worth it? No. So I guess I'm trying to have some difficult conversations now. I am trying to make a stand and be really bold and tell you guys, please stop eating dairy. And if you do, let me know how you feel because it was really difficult for me personally to give up cheese, but no more cheese for this girl. And dairy, milk, yogurt, like I said, that stuff's easy. So hey, you guys, if you found this helpful, if you know a cheese hound, please share this with them. Like this and let me know how you're doing. And again, thanks for all your support and have a good day. See ya.